Okay, what does MJ Akhmadaliev now do after his loss to Inoue? Inoue changed absolutely everything for MJ Akhmadaliev, in my opinion. Changed absolutely everything. He's in a very bad position right now. Inoue schooled him over 12 rounds. MJ cannot get anywhere near him or cause any kind of threat whatsoever. He was quite literally humiliated for 12 rounds. Honestly, it was like Inoue didn't care about wanting to knock him out. I don't think Inoue wanted to knock him out. He just wanted to show the completely different skill gap and the level between and just the completely different levels between the two, because there were so many people beforehand saying how close they were in levels, and I was saying it'll be a competitive fight. I thought Inoue would win, and he did, of course, but Inoue showed a different kind of level in that fight, and I think humiliated a lot of fans with their opinions. Of course, I've already said he badly humiliated Eddie Hearn, and he humiliated MJ Akhmadaliev. Absolutely humiliated him with that performance that he put on. It's difficult. What's next? It is. I honestly don't know. Because you need to be smart with it. You can't. I do think he's one of the best in the super bantamweight division still. I feel like he does beat most of the guys in the division, of course. I still really rate MJ Akhmadaliev very highly, and I think it's safe to say no one in the super bantamweight divisions on Naoya Inoue's level. They're not at all. But the kind of guys who I'd want to see MJ in there with to try and rebuild himself, I'd want to see the Tapales rematch. I think that's got to happen. It's a well-viewed fight on YouTube as well, actually, that fight. It got itself a lot of attention. And it was a good, entertaining, close fight, which, in my opinion, the decision could have been given either way. And I think if MJ wants to try and get that credibility back, because let's be honest, he has lost quite a bit of credibility since that Inoue defeat. That's what happens. And getting schooled over 12 rounds is something. I mean, look, doing well, then getting knocked out is one thing. But I think being schooled over 12 rounds, not being able to touch your opponent, is different. It's different because it's shown a proper skill gap. So it's humiliating for MJ. But I think he should go in for the Tapales rematch. And he could win. I don't know whether I'd pick him now, though. I don't know whether I'd pick him. I think Tapales overall is very smart, and he helped Inoue in his camp for the MJ fight as well. So it's like, I reckon Tapales could have a few other ideas up his back pocket, but I think it's a good payday for MJ. And I don't know how long he definitely has got left. That's the thing. I don't know how long he's got left in his career. But if he wants one more big fight, it's that. Whether he takes that next, I don't know. But I feel like it's one that's got to happen at some point. MJ and Tapales in a rematch. I then looked at someone like Peter McGrail. And this is interesting because they're both promoted by Eddie Hearn. I don't know whether Eddie Hearn would want to risk it for either of them, but I feel like Eddie Hearn would want Peter McGrail to win, British fighter, someone who he can get behind. And if McGrail wins, huge for him. It's like then he's contending at the top of the division. If MJ wins, it's something that gets him back on track. So it's an easy fight that could be made, but it's risky for both parties, and it's risky for Eddie Hearn because you can't have Peter McGrail take a defeat right now. He's got some potential big things that can happen. But again, that next big fight could be MJ. But again, is Eddie Hearn going to want to risk MJ losing again? Is MJ even going to stick around with Eddie Hearn? That's a big question in itself. Is MJ going to stick around with Eddie Hearn? Is Eddie Hearn just now going to throw him in the bin after that? Because we know what these promoters are like. We know what these promoters are like. Nothing would surprise me, to be honest, if Eddie doesn't want him anymore. I mean, if Eddie does keep him, I think he can get big fights. And if I'm MJ, I'm begging to stay with Eddie Hearn. I then look at a Roman Cardenas fight and think, that's something which has got to happen. Then I'd back MJ to win. Definitely, I'd back MJ to win. I think MJ would outskill Roman Cardenas. I think Cardenas could be basic for MJ star-wise. I then look to Luis Neri possibly being someone, and these ones that could happen next, or they could happen the fight after the next one. But again, Luis Neri, it's a good fight. Difficult to pick a winner. I'd possibly edge to MJ, but it's like in MJ's actual next one, is it just going to be another Castillo? Because that wouldn't surprise me. But after that, it's at least got to be a big fight. I don't know, like, does Eddie want to have him headline in Uzbekistan, or what do they do? What do they do with him? But I want to see MJ come back. I want to see him do well. But he's in an awkward situation now after that loss to Inoue, because it was bad. It was very bad. So it's awkward with what you can do next with his career. But I hope Eddie Hearn doesn't bin him off, because it'd be perfect for MJ to stay with him and get matched.